Good evening, everyone. So, today we are going to start our advanced spoken English class for professionals. So, before I go into the course details or anything else, just give me a few more minutes to introduce myself. So, some of the students have personally contacted me and they took information about the course and who I am and everything. So, the students who are meeting me for the very first time, let me introduce myself. So, my name is Teja Nanyakara, and I'm currently working as a spoken English lecturer and also as the managing director of my institute. It is Online A Plus Tutor. And also, I'm training as a psychology counselor. And most of the students have asked, what is your profession and all that. So, let me talk about a little bit about myself. So, I have completed my LLB, Law Honors. I'm a graduate of Liverpool John Moores University, and I did my studies at Wycherley International School, which is a leading and the best international school in Colombo. And I'm currently reading for a master's also. So that's basically who I am. And about the course. Now, I have named it as Advanced Spoken English for Professionals. So, as everyone knows, now today we have a lot of students from different professions. So, we have businessmen, we have teachers, doctors, engineers, accountants, and whatnot. We have undergraduates, postgraduates, and all that. Okay, so let me give you a brief introduction. Now, today we are going to do a very, introductory session about today's course. And also, I will be doing a lesson today. So, let me just introduce you on the course. Now, what am I going to do here and all that? So, most of the students, when they personally contacted me, they shared their difficulties and all that when it comes to speaking in English language. Now, some of them were postgraduate students, so they had difficulties in, when you do a presentation and when you do your assignments at university, they find it very difficult to express their ideas in English. Now, I know I had this education from an international school and I continued in British at Liverpool John Moores University. So I didn't have that issue from the small ages because I had that opportunity to learn in English and to work with native English speakers. So I had that opportunity. But most of the students here didn't get that opportunity. So most of them are from local schools and from a not a very English background, so you find it very difficult. So in this course, what I am trying to do is to clear out all the doubts. And some students told that, the words don't come out easily. So, and some students were afraid to talk because they think that they might go wrong in somewhere, whether they will make grammatical mistakes, and they didn't have enough confidence to talk in front of a group or else in front of an audience. So, in this class, the reason why I am taking a limited number of students per group is that because I will be giving individual attention to each and every one of you, and everybody will be getting a chance to speak up in the class, right? So that is basically our objective. And talking about the course content, this is a very interactive class. So you don't need any textbooks or any material from outside. I will be providing you with everything that you need. So the only thing that you need is maybe a notebook. So to note down whatever the difficult stuff, the important stuff that you come across when I do this session. All right. So we will be mainly focusing on the speech, that means the spoken part in this English language. But at the meantime, we will be covering all the advanced spoken grammar, sort of grammar, and also spoken. And some of the students asked me personally about writing. So yes, I will be focusing on that also. Now most of the students had issues with, how do I write a business email, how do I start it, how do I summarize it into a very small paragraph. And also when you talk, another important thing that I missed out in the beginning, how do we, like, where do we draw the line, what is basic English and what is advanced English. The main objective in my class is I will be providing you with advanced vocabulary, and not just vocabulary, not just words. We are going to work on it very practically. How do we use this word in a very, like, if we take a real life situation, how do we speak up. Now I will be doing conversations, like I will be taking two students at once, and then I will be giving you the conversation. You have to present it, right? So I will be taking a very limited number of students per group. So you can leisurely, you can freely talk and present yourself. And also, now today's lesson also is related to vocabulary and pronunciation. A very important thing in English language is pronunciation. Now, if you pronounce a word in a wrong manner, the meaning might be different. Now, a very common mistake in Sri Lanka that I hear, like a lot of times I have heard this. You might know this, but let me share a simple thing with you to start with. Desert and dessert. What is the difference between these two? Desert and dessert. The spellings are also different. Desert, it's just one S. Dessert, there are two S's, double S. Now, what is the difference in this? Desert, in Sinhala we say Kantare. Dessert is Aturupasa. But in Sri Lanka, I don't know, majority of Sri Lankans tend to say desert to mean Aturupasa, but it is totally wrong. And one more thing, as this class is specially designed for professionals, I will be conducting this class totally in English. So please be aware of that. Many students asked, because in most of the other classes, even though they tell that it is an advanced spoken English class, they tend to speak in Sinhala, our mother tongue. So in this class, it will be totally conducted in English, but if you seriously can't understand something, I will explain it to you in Sinhala, but that is at the very last end. All right. And yeah, so that is basically what I'm planning to do here. And one more thing, most of the students asked about. Now, normally there is a small agenda that I'm going to follow up. But if you, as students, if you request me or else if you recommend me, this lesson will be important for all of us. Yes, you can bring forward your requests and your recommendations. I will be considering all of that. And if I feel like that you like, if it is a very common thing and if it is very important for all of you, yes, then I will be doing that as a lesson. All right. So if you have any questions regarding the course or regarding the conduct, how do we, on which platform and all that, the class is conducted on the Zoom platform. That means just like today, I will be sharing the Zoom link in our WhatsApp group. Now, after I will be converting it to a different one. Once the students pay and confirm, they will be transferred into a different group. So in that group, I will be sharing the Zoom link, and from that you can join. And the class time, it is the same time as today. I have mentioned it in the screen also. Sundays, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. That is a fixed slot. So the first group for advanced spoken English for professionals, yes, that is done on that time and date. So if you have any further questions, you can, yes, course duration. Course duration, now I'm planning to do it within 4 months. That is my plan. But if the students request me to do more, or else if they feel like they need to improve more, yes, then the maximum course duration will be 6 months. But what I am trying to do is finish it off within 4 months. But if the students, like from their side, if they ask me to, can you do, like if they feel like they need to practice more, or else if they feel like they need to expose, like to get the exposure and all that, yes, I will be doing 2 more months, but the maximum will be 6 months for this course, right? Most of the students had that question because I didn't mention in the very beginning. That is about the course duration. Is everybody clear with that? If you have any questions, you can send it to me through the Zoom chat. Now in this class today, it's the introductory session. Yes, there are more than 30 students here today, but in my, like from next week onwards, I will be dividing students into several groups as like, let's say 10 per group. That is the maximum I decided on. It could be 10 or 15 depending on the number of students. So the maximum will be 10 or 15 per group. So what I thought was 10 students per group. So today it is an introductory session, so don't take the wrong idea. Many students are here to you know understand and get to know about the course, right? So I can see many questions coming on. So let me answer them also. Yes, so I will be working on now. Yes, please, I will answer them all towards the end of the course, towards the end of today's lesson. Just give me a few more minutes. So, yes, now today I told you in the very beginning, I will be working on, like, now most of the students have this issue with lack of confidence. How do I present myself like in front of a huge audience, this stage phobia and all that? So I will be working on that. I will be improving it little by little. So all of you here have some sort of education, some sort of idea about this English language, and you can speak English up to a certain extent. But the main objective in this class and the reason why you have joined here today is to improve from that level onwards, to speak English fluently. That is the main objective in simple terms, if I put it like that. All right. So towards like in due course, I will be mentioning what are the lessons and all that. So for the time being, please be patient. If you have further questions, please contact me on the number which is displayed on the screen. I will be talking to you personally. All right. So let me take you to today's lesson. So as I told you earlier, today we are going to look at a lesson where you get to, improve your vocabulary and also pronunciation at the same time. So today's topic, as everybody can see, 50 advanced personality adjectives. Now, when I talk about personality, what sort of adjectives can what sort of adjectives comes to your mind? Yes, this is a very interactive class. So you can send your examples or whatever runs through your mind through the Zoom chat, and I'll be considering all of them today. Okay. So before I start the class, I'm very much happy with everyone today, like who has joined today. And yes, I can see some answers coming up. Yes. So not grammar per se, not like, it's not a learning and, teaching that thing. This is mainly focused on real life situations and the words that you need to know with regard to every profession and also into, your day-to-day activities and day-to-day life. What do you need? So I won't be doing grammar per se. I will be teaching all of that in spoken English, but in a very practical manner. That is what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so some students have asked about that. Yes, we are focusing on the speaking area, not just grammar. So you need to know your grammar when you speak. And one more thing, when it comes to grammar, as everybody knows, There are 12 tenses in the English language, and most of the students had this question. Uh, Now, when you create a sentence, is it just one tense that we can use? No, that's not the case. There are certain instances in which you can use several tenses in the very same situation. So I will be teaching all of that during the course, not today. During the course, I will be focusing on all of those aspects. And yes, I will be considering your requests and recommendations too. I hope you got your answer. Uh, on the Zoom chat, I can see many questions coming up. So I hope you got your answer. All right. So let me start today's lesson. So as I told you before, this is about personality adjectives. 50 advanced personality adjectives. So I have divided this into two parts, 25 positive and 25 negative. Now, if I ask you to describe someone's personality using an adjective, and you have to use that adjective in a sentence, how do you do that? And what are the normal adjectives with regard to personality that comes to your mind? What are they? Yes, if you have, like, just now, if you can express some of those personality adjectives, yes, you can use the Zoom chat and send me some of those before I start. Yes, personality. What do you know about personality and how do you describe someone's personality? You need to know the words. And the very main problem that most of the students have is they know the language, but they don't have the flow. Why don't you have the flow? Because you don't know how to connect these sentences. How to, like, what is the most appropriate word that you have to place there? So these are the questions that most of the students have. So today it is just one topic, personality adjectives. I will be focusing on that. Yes, attractive. Attractive is physical appearance, not personally. It's not like personality. Attractive means physical appearance. So let me go to today's lesson. As everybody can see here, first I have listed 25 positive personality adjectives. So in this, from this point onwards, please carefully listen to the word. How do I pronounce that word? And also, I have given the meaning of that word. Not just that, I have also given an example sentence where you can use it in a practical manner. So, how do we use this personality adjective in a sentence? Right? So knowing the word, it doesn't really, like, it doesn't really matter if you just know the words. That's not enough. You have to know how do you use this word in a sentence. How do I use that word in a very practical situation, in a real life situation? How do I do that? Okay. Right. So many, I can see many examples coming up: decent, objective, honest, ethical, lovely. Right. So let me get to this. First one is adaptable. Adaptable. Now you can repeat the word from your end. You don't have to unmute your mic, as this is the introductory session. I can hear lots of voices if you unmute your mic. So please, if you can repeat the word from your end, you don't have to unmute your mic. Okay? So let me pronounce the word again. Adaptable. Adaptable. So what is the meaning of this word? Being able to change in order to deal with new situations. So you get to a new country, you go abroad, so you have to, adapt. So the adjective is adaptable, right? So you have to move with the new people, new culture, and you have to be very familiar with them. So we call that as adaptable. Adaptable. So this is being able to change in order to deal with new situations. I hope it is quite clear. Let me give you an example. She is a great social worker because she is so adaptable. She is a great social worker because she is so adaptable, right? I hope you have the idea. If it's not clear, please send a text on the Zoom chat. That is the very first one, adaptable. Next one, affable. Affable. The meaning is very pleasant, very friendly, and very easy to talk to, right? So, some personalities we know we are so afraid to talk with, they are not that friendly, like they have this some sort of attitude. But affable means you have a very present, like it is like very pleasant. The presence is pleasant, very friendly, and it is easy to talk to. Okay, so if you have a friend or a family member, someone who has these features, you can describe his or her personality with this personality adjective, which is affable. Affable. Let me give you an example. He was incredibly affable with me when I forgot my ticket. Adjustable or situation oriented? Yes, many questions coming up. Yes, adjustable is also somewhat similar to adaptable. You can adjust to any situation. Yes, that is also correct. Adaptable is another word for that, right? If you can change, if you can adjust according to your new situation or else the new background, new culture, that is we call it adaptable. Adaptable. And the second one, affable. Let me tell the example again. He was incredibly affable with me when I forgot my ticket. Number three, ambitious. Ambitious. Hear me out. Repeat it in your end, right? Repeat it after me. Number three, it's ambitious. Ambitious. That means you are so determined to be successful, rich, powerful, whatever your goal is, you are very ambitious. Ambitious. You can call it goal oriented also. Okay, you are so determined, you are so committed to something that you do, then you say I am a very ambitious person. Okay, let me give you an example. He is very ambitious and I think he'll do very well in life. He is very ambitious and I think he'll do very well in life. Next one, amicable. Amicable, meaning again very polite, friendly, manages situation without arguing. Now, some personalities we know they can't get like they can't resolve a problem without getting into an argument. But again, the exact opposite of that personality is amicable. Whenever you get into an a very difficult situation or else a problem, he in a very friendly manner he tries to settle it down without going into any arguments. If it is a character, if you can remind, like if you can remember someone like that, next time you see, you can describe that person's personality using this personality adjective, which is amicable. Amicable, that means very polite, very friendly, right? Most importantly, manages situations without even arguing, right? Amicable. Let me give you an example. He seemed very amicable on the phone, so I was shocked by his rude email. Now, on the phone, he seemed very amicable, so I was shocked by his rude email, right? So, on the phone, he was quite amicable, but when I read the email, I was so confused, I was shocked because of that personality. Next one, it is a very simple one. Everybody might have heard this at least once in your life. Bright, bright. That means intelligent, quick to learn, someone who catches up everything very quickly. Yes, so we can call them bright, a very bright girl, a very bright student. You can describe a person using that. This is very common. You are a bright girl. I knew you would pass the exam. So when you compliment someone also, you can use these personality adjectives. Okay? Bright. Next one, broad-minded. This is also quite, I don't know, I use it a lot of, like I use it a lot. Broad-minded. Broad-minded. Listen to it carefully. Broad-minded. That means willing to listen to others people's opinions and accept behavior that is different from your own. That is, you call it broad-minded. So he doesn't really rely on his own opinions. He respect others decisions, he respect others opinions also, right? It might be different from your own opinion, but he still respects others with their opinions and decisions, right? We call it broad minded, and the opposite of this is narrow minded. I will discuss that later. Let me give you an example. Luckily, our boss is quite broad minded, so I'm sure he won't mind. Okay, so I know like there are many students from different professions. At least once in your life, you might have to work with a boss or else a superior. So then, if he is a very broad minded person, yes, then you are on good hands. Okay, let me go to the next one. Okay, now this is a very, a little bit different when it comes to pronunciation also. Yes, someone has asked me a question. Does it go parallel with, it's not amiable, it's amicable. Which one? Amicable and affable. Yes, they just, it's quite similar, but amicable, we have one more feature in that, manages situation without going into arguments. That is an extra one in amicable, where in which you don't find it in affable. Okay, I hope you got your answer. Okay, next one, conscientious. It is a little bit difficult to pronounce. If it is difficult, my advice is try to break it down into smaller parts and practice it before you can pronounce the full word at once. Conscientious. Conscientious, that means you use it to describe somebody who takes care, like to do things carefully and correctly. That means if I assign this particular task to this person, he will do it like on point. We don't have to worry about that. He is very conscious about that. He will complete it 100%, neatly, and we don't have to look back. That is conscientious. Conscientious. So his conscientious manner makes him a fantastic engineer. So I know some of the students were engineers. Now I can see some of the students who have joined today. uh, yes, I know some of their like engineers. So yes, you might be a conscientious person. Okay, so you can describe yourself with this personality adjective. His conscientious manner makes him a fantastic engineer. Okay, next one, convivial. Convivial, very cheerful and friendly. So I don't know. In my circle of friends, I have some friends who are very cheerful, always in a good mood, very friendly. I don't even see them, in a very moody sort of thing, very cheerful. So if it is a personality like that, you can describe that person as in convivial. She was a convivial party host who made everyone feel welcomed. A convivial party host. Party host means who? Who is the party host? The one who, leads the party. That is a party host. The one who hosts it. Next one, courteous. 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 This is a very, frequently used one. Polite. Polite, and especially in a way that shows respect. Is a very courteous boy, a very courteous girl. When you get into discipline or whatever, it shows that, you are very polite in your manner. I can't believe how courteous the school children were today. Now, mostly this is very common when you get into just an example, a parents' meeting or a very public event at school. The children tend to behave very courteously. Okay, so that means they are in their best behavior, nothing wrong, very courteous. That means very polite in a way that shows respect. Okay, another example, I will read it out again. I can't believe how courteous the school children were today. All right. So I don't know, at least once in your life, you might have heard this. Yes, one student have asked whether I will send this recording. Yes, I will be uploading this on YouTube and I will be sharing that link on the main WhatsApp group. So if you are not on the WhatsApp group, please drop me a text on WhatsApp, a private message, so I can forward you the link. Okay. Right. Next one, decisive. Decisive. This is able to decide something very quickly and with confidence. Now, when it comes to, let's say life decisions, and when you need to face your problems, now when you get to live a life alone and maybe an independent person, and when you get into a marriage, you have to be very responsible and very decisive. You can't take forever to decide on something. You have to be very confident, right? You have to, like in some situations, you have to decide very quickly. You have to be very certain about what you are talking about, right? It might, affect your children, it might affect your partner. So you have to be very decisive. That means being able to decide something very quickly and also with confidence. That is the most important part. Decisive. Okay. And decisive, there's another one. Now when someone doesn't you know it's very difficult to change someone's mind, then that person is also a decisive person. Yes, another student has asked a question. Is there any possibility to watch missed lesson once we join this class? Yes, a very good question. Now in this class, I will be providing you the video recording of all the classes after you join it. So just imagine if you can't join the live class, if you have something else, if you miss it due to an internet connection problem or whatever it is, I will be giving you the note and also the video recording. So if you miss the class, you can always watch the recording. I don't know, like as much as you want. There's no limit to it. You can watch it over and over again and practice also. You can revise the lessons as much as you want. There's nothing, no rule on that. I hope you got your answer. Yes, I will be providing the video recording for all the lessons once you have joined the class. That means from next week onwards, this will be uploaded on YouTube. Okay. Next one, so I was on the example decisive. Decisive. She is quite decisive, so I don't think she'll change her mind, right? That means she decides something quickly and very confidently, so she doesn't really change her mind that easily. Next one, determined. Determined. I know personalities like that. Okay. Determined, able to continue trying to do something even when it is difficult. Okay. So I don't know. My father is sort of a very determined person. I think I follow him. So a very determined person, that means able to continue trying to do something even when it is difficult. Now, I know certain people, when it is difficult, they tend to give up, but if there is a person who never gives up, he keeps on trying and trying until you achieve that certain goal or your whatever the aim, then that person, you can call it a very determined personality, a very determined person. Okay, so one example is her determined nature made her the perfect Olympian. Now these days it's a very famous and something that we talk about a lot, Olympics and all that. So her determined nature made her do that. Determined. Okay, I have one more question. Duration of the course, I explained it earlier. The duration of the course will be 4 months. I will be trying to finish it off within 4 months. But if the students request that they need to practice more, or else, like if they need to extend it, the maximum duration will be 6 months. But what I am planning to do is within 4 months. So it depends on the number of students and also their requests and recommendations. Okay. Next one, diplomatic. Diplomatic, that means able to deal with people in difficult situations, right? So this is quite, I don't know, as professionals, everybody have to have this feature, I think. Diplomatic, being able to deal with people in difficult situations. Okay, so my dad's diplomatic nature made him a great boss. My dad's diplomatic nature made him a great boss. This is an example. Next one, easygoing. This is a common one. Easygoing, that means very relaxed and happy to accept everything without worrying or getting angry. Now there are some people, like no matter what bad things happen to them, they are very happy, relaxed about that. They don't worry about that. So if it is a person like that, you can describe her or his personality with this: easygoing, easygoing, or we say very carefree. He is an easygoing guy with a carefree attitude. That is the example that I have showed over here. So easygoing, that means he accepts everything without worrying or without complaining. That is easygoing. Easygoing. We'll move on to the next part. This is another good word, but I haven't heard most of Sri Lankans using this. Exuberant. Exuberant. That means you are full of energy, excitement, and happiness. Then you can describe that personality using this personality adjective: exuberant. That means very full of energy, very excited. That means full of excitement and happiness. Okay, so sometimes it is exhausting to be around someone like that, because when you are, high and low, whichever time, that person is very high, very full of energy. So sometimes it might be tiring, it might be, boring you up. But some people like to be around people like that. So for example, now here it is the other way around. Her exuberant nature exhausted me. What is the meaning of exhausted? Extremely tired, exhausted. Okay? Yes, yes. Now today it is a introductory session. That is why I haven't given you the opportunity to talk. But just like I mentioned in the very beginning of today's session, all the students will be getting a chance to speak up in the class. So you can speak with me, you can speak with your colleagues. Like I will be taking two by two to do conversations. Yes, you will be getting a chance to practice. Now today, this is just an introductory session. So there are many students today. So that is why I haven't given you, like I can't give 35 or 40 students chances in this very limited time slot. Okay, so please try to understand me. You can practice as much as you want from next week onwards. I will be giving you that opportunity, so don't worry about that. Okay, I hope you got your answer. Okay, moving on to the next one. Frank. Frank, that means being honest. We say frankly also. Frank, honest and direct in what they say, sometimes in a way that other people might not like. So sometimes when you speak very honestly, it might hurt the other person's feelings, but it is just your way, right? So we it's not like we are being rude, but we are very open. We don't keep things to our heart. Like we are very open with our, let's say, comments or whatever you need to express. So you are very frank, or we call it honest. That means it might hurt the other person, but you are very you are honest to yourself and also to other people, so you just tell it when you want to. She is very frank, but she gets results. She is very honest, but she gets results. Next one, gregarious. Gregarious. This is again a new word. That means very sociable. That means, a very outgoing person, very friendly person. We say gregarious. I think you will get on well as you both are gregarious. So sometimes there are people very outgoing, very social people. So it's very, now if you are also a very socialized person, yes, then you both will go well, get on well. So this is an example that I have given. As you can see over here, I think you will get on well as you are both so gregarious. Gregarious. Next one, intuitive. Listen carefully. Intuitive. 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 A little bit tricky, the pronunciation. So listen it carefully. Intuitive. Intuitive. That means you are able to understand something by using the feelings rather than by considering the facts. Now this is something related to psychology also. You don't consider the facts. You always consider that person's feelings to understand certain things. Now normally, even if you say I'm all right, but from inside you are suffering, you have some problems, you need someone to talk to, but you don't really express that openly. But if there is a person who can understand other person's feelings, not just by the facts presented, then we can call that person a very intuitive person. Now, this is a very common feature in teachers. Now, normally back in the day when I was schooling, some teachers were there. Now, they can look at my face and say whether I understood the lesson or not. Okay, a very good feature for teachers actually. If they are intuitive, they are the best teachers, the great teachers that you can find. One example, she is a great teacher because she is so intuitive. Intuitive. Next one, inventive. Inventive. That means very imaginative. They have a broad imagination. So they come up with new ideas, new, ideologies, whatever, new and also interesting ideas. Then you call them very inventive. Still, we are on the positive. I will be teaching you negative personality adjectives also towards the end of today's lesson. So please hold on. Next one. Okay, let me read out the example also. I'm sure he'll find a use for it. He is incredibly inventive. So there are certain people, even with a plastic bottle, he can make something very usable or else very productive, efficient. Some people are there using these shopping bags and all that. They have created many, useful stuff. So those people, we call them very inventive. Okay. So here I have used the word incredibly inventive. Next one, modest. Modest. What is the meaning of modest? This word can be used to describe someone who doesn't talk or boast about their own abilities or positions. So some people, now they are very rich, very powerful. They tend to boast about themselves. I have this, I have power over that. So if it is a person like that, then it is not modest. The opposite of modest, very boastful, very arrogant, and all that. I will get into that later, but this is the exact opposite of that personality. You have achieved so much in your life. You are in a very good position in your life, both, let's say, financially, educationally, family wise. You are in a very good position. You have many abilities, you have many talents, but still you are quite humble. You don't really talk about it, you don't boast about it. Then that is the word modest. Modest. I think you are being a bit modest. Your English is great. Even she is a very fluent speaker. She doesn't boast about it. She doesn't really talk about it. Okay? Being modest. 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 Moving on to the next part. A very good word, pioneering. Pioneering. This means used to describe someone who begins or helps develop something very new. That means he is the start of that thing. And also, not just that, he allows others to follow his concept, follow his ideology, and follow it, pass it from generations to generations or whatever like that. So, the one who begins, one who starts with that idea, who develops something new, that person you call it a pioneer. Or else, if you need to describe it as an adjective, you can say pioneering. Okay, pioneering. Next one, placid. Placid. Placid in the sense you don't get annoyed or excited that easily. Now, there are certain people, no matter how much we try to surprise them or do something very exciting, they are just very calm and quiet. They take them very easily. We can't make them, feel excited or even annoyed. So if it is a person like very neutral, we call them placid. Placid. Now, this here we have used it with the pet animal. Our dog is very placid. He won't jump at you. It is in a way good. Uh, but I don't know, with regard to people, it is like they do not get excited or even annoyed that much, not easily. Next one, proactive. Proactive. That means being able to control a situation by making things happen rather than waiting for things to happen. Now, this is a very good adjective if you can, physically or mentally, if you can become someone like that. Now, certain people are there, they wait until you achieve, like, I don't know, some people they wait, like they give time and they wait until the results until you get some results. But again, there are some other people who work for it without just waiting and looking for it. You work for it, you make things happen rather than waiting for things to happen. Okay, just like English. Now, if you want to improve your English vocabulary, your pronunciation, you have to try for it. If you just wait in your house, if you just look here and there, if you just wait, okay, someday I will become someone who can speak fluent English. No, that's not going to work. So you have to be dedicated, committed to this activity. You have to be, daily you have to get involved in this whatever the activity that you have to do. Okay, so you have to be very proactive. So example, she is proactive in her work life, but her home life is very different. Now, there are personalities like that. In the office, in the work life, she is very different, but as a housewife or as a mother, her life is a little bit different. There are people like that. Okay, next one, quick-witted. Quick-witted means they can identify everything very quickly. They are very intelligent. You don't have to explain them word by word. They quickly catch up things. They can quickly understand. They can quickly think about it. For those people we call quick-witted. Quick-witted. I wouldn't heckle the comedian. Comedian, he is very quick-witted. So that means he can think very quickly. He's very quite, intelligent. So he can think like this, right? Next one, resourceful. Resourceful. That means a person, if he is very good at finding ways of doing things or solving problems, we call him a very resourceful person. That means, in companies also, you have a separate person for that. Now, when you come up with a problem, now just imagine COVID-19 pandemic. Now, in a health crisis, in a situation like this, what are the best options that we have? How do we change our normal daily routine? What are the precautions, and what can we do to make it better? So people who are quite resourceful, they come up with new ideas. Okay, so if you are a person as such, you can describe yourself as a very resourceful person. Next one, versatile. Versatile in the sense, if you are capable of doing many different things, you can call yourself a versatile person. Now, just imagine there are people who do, different professions at once, not just okay, I don't like to talk about myself, but there are people like that, versatile people. They work, they do their own business, they study. So you can do many different things at once, then you can call yourself a versatile person. My personal assistant is incredibly versatile. That means he or she can do many different things. Okay, not just, they are not framed into one category, they can do many stuff, okay, in different areas. All right, now we have come to the end of positive personality adjectives. Now we are going to look at some negative ones. So I don't like to talk about people's negative side, because you have to be always positive, but still there are people who have these personalities also. You can't help it, right? So first one, aloof. That means the exact opposite of amicable, not friendly or interested in other people. That means, she doesn't talk with anyone. She is very, only with herself, not friendly, doesn't talk to anyone. Then we say aloof. You can describe pet animals also. The dog was aloof. She came to you on her own terms. Right? So if you want only, you will go and talk to some person. Unless you won't bother to talk with someone. That is aloof. Next one, belligerent. Belligerent, that means very aggressive. Aggressive means what? Get into arguments, very nervous, aggressive, and unfriendly. Now, don't get the wrong idea. I'm talking all of the negative personality adjectives. Okay, if someone is very aggressive and very unfriendly, you can describe that person's personality with this: belligerent. Belligerent, that means the thing that I explained just now. His belligerent attitude drove me up the wall. That means you do not like that person so much. He is very belligerent. Next one, big headed. Big headed. Earlier I talked about modest. Modest means you do not boast about yourself. Big headed is like the opposite of that. Very arrogant and too proud. Now you boast about yourself, then you say she's very big headed. Big headed. He's handsome but also big headed, which puts me off. Okay, so some people, they are, I don't know, there are some personalities, I have experienced it. So some beautiful, very attractive from outer appearance, but inside they are like very big headed. They tend to boast about themselves. I don't know, very rude. Okay, next one, callous. Callous, that means not caring about others' feelings, pain, or problems. So they are like, they don't have a heart or anything, they don't feel the pain. So they do not even care about other people's feelings and all that. So then you can call that person a very callous. Callous. That means, now I'll just give you an example. The headmaster was callous and disregarded the feelings of the students. There are some headmasters, principals, bosses who are very, I don't know. There are personalities like that. They don't even care about other people. So we can call them callous. Callous. Don't care about other people. Okay, next one a little bit different and a little bit, not that you hear it so much. Cantankerous. Cantankerous. A little bit difficult to pronounce also. If it is difficult, try to, break it down into smaller parts and say it out loud. Cantankerous. Cantankerous. That means you get angry very often and you always complain about it. Okay? So you can't be, it's very difficult to please him. He always complains. He is not happy with what he have. He always complain about certain stuff. Okay, I'm so sick of her. She is so cantankerous. She is never pleased. That means you can't make her happy. It's very difficult, and even if you do something good, she still complains about it. She try to find the very small mistake in everything that you do. Then she's always angry. She always complains about other people and all that. Then you can call her or him cantankerous. Cantankerous. Moving on to the next one. Clingy. Clingy. That means you need someone so much. You are dependent, like, you are very dependable on that person. Too much. Too dependent on that person. You can't do anything alone. You are like always gelled, connected. You like literally you are like linked to that person. So then we call that personality as clingy. Sometimes it's like a burden. You don't really like when someone becomes clingy, so you can use it. Stop being so clingy. I need some time alone. I need some time alone. Next one, cynical. That means you do not believe that something good will happen. Okay, so some people are there always, they are negative. They think negatively, they always predict negative stuff. That means, they never believe in good things to happen. Always they are in a very negative mood, and they even express their feelings in a very negative manner. You can call them cynical. Why do you always have to be cynical? Lighten up a bit, right? Lighten up a bit. So this is a good term. If you find someone like that, you can say, lighten up a bit. Why are you always so cynical? Right? Next one, detached. Detached means separated, or else she's always alone, never shares anything, lack of feeling, sort of. Detached. He's always staying separately, no friends, no family, always alone. We call them detached. Detached. He is very detached. I wonder if something is on his mind. Doesn't talk to anyone. Next one, dogmatic. That means you are being certain that your beliefs are right and that others should accept them without paying attention to evidence or other opinions. Now, there are certain people like that. Now, if I say this is correct, even though like it is technically proven it is wrong, still I believe that my answer is right, and others should accept my belief without even what we call, without even perfect grounds to believe that, without even proof or evidence. I should blindly believe what he say. That is, we say dogmatic. That means even if your belief or your opinion is wrong, you still want others to believe that it is correct. You call it dogmatic. Pessimistic is not that. Pessimistic means you are always now optimistic, pessimistic. That is this opposite words. Pessimistic means you are always in a what do we call, negative mode. Ah, yes, yes. You were talking about cynical. Yes, it is quite like that. Optimistic means what? You are always thinking about positive stuff. You are always positive thinking, all in good mood. Yes, cynical is that. I was talking about dogmatic. Excuse me on that. Yes. Pessimistic is quite similar to that. Next one, the politician was the most dogmatic person that I've ever seen, sorry, ever had the displeasure of meeting. So, what is this displeasure of meeting? You didn't really like that presence, or else you were very unhappy with that meeting. That means you didn't even like the sight of that person. You call it the displeasure of meeting somebody, and the personality is dogmatic. Next one is fuzzy. That means you are too concerned about having the things exactly as you want them to, and we also call them very hard to please. Now, for example, you buy a dress and you can find 100 mistakes in that dress. So you tend to prepare your own dresses according to your own requirements, right? So she is very concerned about having things exactly as you want them to. Now, if you place the phone here, no, it should be placed only on the table. That is like you are too concerned about having things exactly as you want them to, right? Not even a decimal place here and there. Okay, it can't be slightly different, it has to be exactly as you want to. Very difficult to work with people like that. Okay, so some clients are like that. My client is so fuzzy, I just can't seem to please him. No matter how much good proposals you give him, no matter how much of a good service you provide him with, he never gets happy. He's never contented about that. So you can call him a very fussy client, or else my client is very fuzzy. Next one, gullible. That means you are too willing to believe or accept what other people tell you, and therefore easily tricked. So some people are there, whatever we say, they quickly believe it. Not like they don't even think, is it okay to believe? Like they get fooled or tricked very easily. We call them gullible. Gullible. That means willing to believe or accept anything that anybody says. They weren't gullible enough to fall for the prank. Now, here it is used in a negative sentence. Were not, they weren't. Next one, impulsive. Impulsive. That means acting suddenly without thinking carefully about what might happen because of what you are doing. We call them impulsive. You just act quickly, but you don't think about the consequences. What are consequences? What are the results of my actions? I don't think about that, and I just do whatever that comes to my mind. If it is a person like that, you can call him or her impulsive. Impulsive without thinking about the results or the consequence of his actions, he just do it. He is too impulsive. He just bought a Lamborghini on a finance. Okay. There are people like that who do, things in big scale without even thinking about it. Next one, indecisive. Indecisive. That is the exact opposite of the previous one that I taught you. In the previous set of words, I taught you decisive. Opposite of that is indecisive. That means you can't make decisions quickly, you don't have the confidence to do it, and you are not effective in that. If you are not able to make decisions quickly and effectively, you can say I am indecisive. Indecisive. I am very indecisive when it comes to picking what to wear. Now, this is a very common issue with girls. I'm not telling that it's not there with men or as the male gender. It is like, if you take it as a percentage, I believe that this is more common within females or let's say girls, right? I'm very indecisive when it comes to picking what to wear. Next one, materialistic. That means you care only about the material, money, possessions, whatever the physical stuff you have. You care about that too much. That means you are being very materialistic. Materialistic. Barbie is so materialistic. All she cares about is fashion. All she cares about is fashion. Now, don't get the wrong idea. Today, I am doing an introductory session. That is why I haven't given you the chance to speak up, because now here there is a huge crowd, more than 30 students. So I can't give everyone a chance to speak today. But on the other days, I will be taking one by one. Everybody will be given individual attention and you can speak up freely. That is the reason why I am taking a very limited number of students per group. Okay, so please be understandable about the situation today. Okay, moving on to the next one. Narrow minded. Narrow minded. I think I gave you the opposite of this earlier. Broad-minded, opposite of that is narrow-minded. That means you are not willing to listen to others' ideas or opinions. You don't listen to them, you do not accept them. You are just firmly believing only your stuff, only your ideas and your opinions. You do not respect others' opinions or others' decisions. So then we call them very narrow-minded. Narrow-minded. Okay. Next one, obnoxious. Obnoxious. That means extremely unpleasant. That means people do not even like to face them. They do not even like to stand the sight of that person. Extremely unpleasant. You don't like to be in the same room as he or she is. Obnoxious. Obnoxious. He is the most obnoxious person I have ever met in my life. There are people like that. I myself have experienced that. So there are certain people very annoying. We call them obnoxious. Obnoxious. They offend people so much. Extremely unpleasant. Extremely unpleasant. Moving on to the next part. Obstinate. Obstinate. That means you refuse to change your opinion or your way of behaving when other people try to persuade you to. Now, there are certain children, even certain clients also. You now, once you are in a decision or else you firmly believe something, so you don't really like to change your opinion or else the way you behave, even when someone tries to persuade you to. Let's say an adult is trying to teach you something very important, but you still refuse to change your opinion about it. So if it is a character like that, you can describe her or his personality using this personality adjective: obstinate. Obstinate. She is very cute, but she is also very obstinate. Okay, so this is a personality adjective, but in a negative form. Negative personality adjective. So today's lesson, what are we discussing? Positive and negative personality adjectives. Okay, next one, patronizing. Patronizing, that means you show that, or else, like, you show everybody that you think you are better than anybody else, or else you are more intelligent than the others. Then you can call that character very patronizing. So patronizing. Okay, stop being so patronizing. I am not a child. So you, sometimes there are certain people, they tend to show that you know everything, you are the best person, you are the most intelligent person, you are the only one that you know everything of. So if it is a person like that, you can call him, yo, he's a very patronizing person. Patronizing. Patronizing. Next one, possessive. Possessive. Possessive means you demand total attention or love, or maybe you do not like to lend things or share things with others. Now, there is a, I don't know if we take it as a percentage, if you are the only child in your family, you don't have the habit of sharing things with others. Now, if you are very friendly with your cousins, then it's not a problem. But there are such personalities. Now, if you own certain stuff, you don't like to lend it to somebody. You have to keep it to yourself. You don't like others, using that, or you don't like to share things with others, then you call it possessive. Possessive. All right. Next one. Okay, one question. Handle all 10 group at once if those will start 6:30. Okay. No, no, you have got the wrong idea. Sunday 6:30 to 8:30 is my first group. First group. Only 10 students at once. 6:30 to 8:30, just one slot for 10 or maybe 15 students depending on the number. Okay, so the rest of it I will be taking them on a different day and a different time, not on Sunday. Okay, please don't take the wrong idea. Per group there are only 10 students and the duration per class is 2 hours. I will be taking the first group on Sundays 6:30 to 8:30. So don't take the wrong idea. 10 per group is on different times, not just on the same time. Okay? Okay, people have different questions, right? Next one, possessive. As I was explaining, if you don't like to share certain stuff with others, you say he's a very possessive person, demanding total attention or total, it's all just mine, only mine. If you have that feeling, you can call yourself, I'm a very possessive person. She had a hard time breaking up with her possessive boyfriend. Now, this is very common in relationships. It's like you own that person, it's like your possession. So, it's very hard to, move out of that relationship. Next one, resentful. Resentful means feeling bitter or angry about something that you think is unfair. Now, there are certain things in life you don't have control over. So, you can't really control the consequence or the results or the unfair situations that you have to face to. Okay, so if it is a situation like that, you feel very resentful. That means it you think that it is so unfair, right? You always think about it like that, and you are always in a very bad mood, very angry, very bitter, always like that. Why? Because you think everything that is happening is very unfair. Her difficult past made her very resentful. There are certain people who had to, witness very bad situations in the past. So when they try to move on from that past situation, you find them very resentful. Everything that they see, they think that it is very unfair. Okay, so that is a common thing in most of the people. Resentful, resentful. Next one, self-centered. Self-centered. This is also another one. It is good. Good in the sense a good word, but it is a negative personality adjective. Self-centered means you think only about yourself. You don't care about other people's feelings or their needs. You just think about yourself. If you have everything, that's it. You don't even care if the other person dies out of hunger. That is like self-centered. Okay, stop being so self-centered and think about the children. Stop being so self-centered and think about the children. Okay, now this is a very good example if you need to use. Next one, stingy. Stingy, this is especially with money. If in Sinhala we say low buy, okay, that is the exact word. Stingy, that means you are not generous, you don't like to do donations, you don't help the poor, the needy people, you don't even buy good stuff, you always try to save your money. Very stingy, that means especially with money. I hate going out with her because I always end up paying. She is so stingy. There are people like that. Now, when you get together your friends, uh, there are certain people who tend to be away when you want to pay the bill. They don't give their share. They are like, you can pay, I'll stay out of it. So it's like very stingy. Next one, tactless. Tactless. Saying or doing things that are likely to annoy or to upset other people. Yes, greedy is Kadarai, stingy is Lobai. Okay, Kadarai means greedy, you can use it with food also. She is very greedy, eats a lot. Greedy is not that similar to stingy, a little bit different. Okay. Yes, I was talking about this. Chackless. Chackless. That means saying or doing things that are likely to annoy or to upset other people. Now, there are some people who, give negative comments about your appearance, about your weight, about the style you dress. So, very, I don't know, it's a kind of rude. So, we can call them tactless. The way you do things or the way you speak, it offend other people and it makes other people annoyed and it upset other people. So then if it is a person like that who does things like that, you can talk about him or her using this adjective, tactless. Tactless. You were so tactless when you commented on her weight. Okay, so there are people like that. It hurts so much when you have to deal with a person like that. Next one, touchy. Touchy means he or she gets upset very easily, or he can't understand jokes. Like there are people like that gets easily upset. He can't even understand a very silly joke. Okay, so sometimes we say she's very touchy. Okay, so don't upset her, she's very touchy. Last one, vain. Vain, that means too proud of your appearance, abilities, achievements, possessions. This is like I think I explained something similar to this earlier. Okay, vain. Vain, that is also again you think only about yourself, you care only about your appearance, abilities, achievements. Okay, you don't really have that much, but you tend to be so proud of, it's like showing off. Vain, you are so vain, you probably think these examples about you because you are so vain. Okay, so if it is like you tend to boast about yourself, you tend to show off, that is we call vain. Vain. Okay, abilities or achievements we call them. All right, so these are the 25 I wanted to discuss today. Positive and negative personality adjectives, the things that I wanted to discuss today. Do you have any other questions with regard to today's session? If so, you can send your questions through the Zoom chat. The ones who missed the first part of today's session, don't worry, I will be uploading the video on YouTube. The channel's name is Online A Plus Tutor, which is the same name of my institute. You can find it on the ad also. Online A Plus Tutor. Today, before let's say within another hour or so, I will be uploading that. So you can yes, one question is vain similar to big headed? Big headed is quite similar to vain. Yes, correct. So, do you have any questions about the course? Yes, these are used by people who know good English, who speak English very fluently, very advanced vocabulary. The ones who know these know that. Now, it might be very alien to you, very foreign to you because you still don't have that vast vocabulary, this thing. Okay, so these are very good words if you can use. That is why I named it as 50 advanced personality adjectives. Today, I think you have learned 50 new words. Okay, so this is very useful and it's better if you can put this into practice. To make it easier, I have given you examples and even the meaning. These examples are all used in real life situations. When you want to describe someone's personality, you can use these adjectives. And to make it much more easier, I divided it into two parts, as in positive personality adjectives and negative personality adjectives. All right. So you can actually go through it later. And if you have any questions, you can contact me on WhatsApp and ask anything. All right. So here I am displaying the name Online A Plus Tutor, and this is the time slot, Sundays 6:30 to 8:30, and this is my contact number. You can contact me on that. If you have further questions about today's session, you can contact me on that. Okay, so let me give you a few more minutes. If you have questions about today's session, you can ask now, or else about the course or whatever you need to know, you can ask them now. And in the meantime, I would like to thank everybody who joined today. And I hope to see you guys from next week onwards. And how do you enroll and all that? I have given all of the details on WhatsApp. And if you are a very new student, you can contact me on this number that I have displayed on the screen and get more details. Okay. So thank you for joining today. I will be looking forward to see you guys next week also. All right, stay safe, everyone.